Welcome back to At Arm's Reach. So far, I've talked about the benefits of moving proactively to create time and space, and I've highlighted some of the key pieces of information to look for, as well as providing some out-of-game resources to help draw some conclusions about your opponent. In this breakdown, I'll be talking about some things to keep in mind while preparing a plan, and how that plan can help lead to decisive action. While each plan is dependent on the ship that you are flying and the opponent that you are facing, there are some pieces to consider in every plan, and accounting for each of these pieces can help lead to a more structured engagement. Keeping in the same vein as moving proactively, it's important to plan your escape. Not only should you think about where you're looking to escape to, but when you will first start to pull range and align out to warp. Designate a time in the fight when you will prepare to leave. If you are using an ancillary armor repper or shield booster, use the number of remaining charges as a gauge for when to pull range. In addition, it's important to plan ahead when you will start your reps. For inexperienced pilots, it can often be overwhelming when you start a fight. This can lead to starting a rep cycle late, ending in a loss with charges still available. Set a specific indicator in your mind for when you will start your rep cycle. For instance, when your ship gets to 1/4 shield. As a reminder, you can set your ship's alarm settings to those same values. Another important piece to consider is the use of your directional scan. It's extremely useful for locating targets. However, it's important to remember to use it during a fight. This can alert you to more parties joining the fight or additional enemy ships coming for reinforcement. One helpful tip is to pair this action with another action. An example would be to hit D-scan after you've started a rep cycle. This will help you to prepare to engage multiple targets or begin your escape if odds are overwhelming. Next, let's take a look at a clip from my executioner video. This clip comprises two separate fights, one after another. While my plan for each individual opponent differed, the approach to each opponent shared similar characteristics, and some of the same key steps to be successful. The clip starts as I see two firetails on D-scan. I pull some range away from the beacon to assess the situation. As both firetails land, I identify that the first firetail is fit with autocannons, and I can infer from his speed that he has a micro warp drive fitted. As he pulls range, it seems as though they are not together, and after a short time, the second firetail leaves. My plan for fighting an autocannon firetail is simply to stay at range and let my damage projection do most of the work. Since autocannons will have a hard time projecting, I can leave my rep cycles till a little bit later, maybe around half armor. This will allow me to conserve nanite paste and potentially cap if the fight goes longer. As I engage my opponent, I'm keeping a close eye on range. Knowing that my warp scrambler will turn off his micro warp drive, my only concern is that he may have an afterburner fitted as well. As I watch his speed stabilize, I realize it's much too slow to be an afterburner speed. That, combined with the speed at which his shield HP is depleting, shows me that he is fit with a shield tank. As a result, I'm very confident knowing that I can control the fight and project my damage much more effectively. After taking a moment to look over the kill mail and collect my loot, I start reloading my ancillary armor repper and check D-scan. Seeing an Imperial Navy slicer on D-scan, I align out and prepare to gather information. The slicer soon lands and starts his burn out toward me. I notice that he's fit with pulse lasers and his speed is indicative of that of a normal slicer fit. I can make the assumption that he's not using links or implants. Furthermore, while looking at his ship, it seems as though he has placed me on approach. This observation means that he will likely have a slow reaction time when turning around, and I have a decent chance of catching him as he comes towards me. But timing is critical. I choose to turn around 33 kilometers. Since overheated long point range is 28 kilometers, I want to make my turn before he reaches that distance, and while he hopefully has maximum tunnel vision. I know that once he's established long point, he will start to think about kiting. so moving in before that time gives me the best opportunity for a catch. Once I have successfully caught him, I need to be very conscious of his damage output. While I should win out in tank, the Slicer has more damage potential than my Executioner, so I plan to start my rep cycles early, then stabilize my distance so I have maximum tracking. My high damage output makes short work of his fragile tank, and after looking over the kill mail and securing my loot, I decide to move on. However, not before replying to some salty chat in local. As always, thank you for watching. If you liked this breakdown, don't forget to like and subscribe, or leave additional feedback in the comment section below.